So you want to get started in automated crypto trading or even any sort of automated trading in general, be it the crypto markets, the equity markets, the futures markets, foreign exchange, prediction markets, what have you. What are the top 5 tools that you need to have in order to build an automated trading application? So at the very top of my list is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is the editor that you actually write the program in. And the awesome thing about Visual Studio Code is that it supports a ton of different programming languages. So whatever programming language you want to develop your trading algorithm in, Visual Studio Code will most likely support it. So right here we have an example of a Python application. This particular application is being used to do some analysis on some trades, but it's cool because you can have the Python application, for example, generate all sorts of great charts and statistics here. And I use Python a lot for doing analysis and running statistics and things like that. So I use Java for the actual trading algorithm development. And so I got another window here just showing the Java, some Java code here using to connect to the Paradex REST API. So that's one thing I love about Visual Studio Code is just how flexible it is and how many different languages and other plugins it supports. So you can also use other tools in here for formatting, for builds. So if you're using Java, there's certain build tools that you would use to compile and package your application versus Python, and all that stuff is very configurable in Visual Studio Code. So within Visual Studio Code, my number 2 piece of software that I use for creating my applications is the plugin for AI within Visual Studio. So I think it's well worth it to spend the extra money and get the AI plugin for Visual Studio Code. It supports quite a few different AI models. And the thing I really like about using AI with software development, and I will take a step back and say that I don't like just telling it what to do and having it write a bunch of code, because what I found is a lot of times it will introduce very, very subtle bugs that are extremely difficult to debug. So I like to keep a very close eye on what this thing is doing. And so I'll give it very small tasks that I want it to do, and then I'll check it and see how it did. Now, that's not to say that it's still not going to introduce bugs, but I feel like it's going to be easier to debug those issues if I'm only giving it small chunks to work on at a time rather than a large task to do. So this, I feel like, has been well worth the money because it is basically like having a junior programmer, I feel like, working alongside you that can do a lot of the grunt work that might have otherwise taken quite a long time to write by hand. So that is number 2. Number 3, as far as coding goes, along the same lines, definitely want to get an account to GitHub. And GitHub is a location where you can store your code for free. So the reason that this is really important is because if all your code is living on your laptop and you happen to lose your laptop, then all that code that you worked so hard on is just gone. Now, the cool thing about GitHub is that you can have a section of code that is public. So if you want to share your code, have others contribute to it, you can make that repository public, or you can have private repositories, which means it's a project that you just want to work on yourself, or if you have a small team, that small team can work on it, but the rest of the world can't see it. And the other reason that GitHub or something like versioning, Git in general, is very important is because as you're checking stuff in or making changes, you have a way to roll back those changes if you want to. If there's something that you created that you don't like, you can roll it back to the way it previously was, and then make changes from there. So GitHub, I love using this as well. It's and then also, of course, it's integrated with Visual Studio Code, so getting stuff into and out of GitHub is pretty seamless from Visual Studio. So tool number 4, this is a tool called Postman. And the thing I love about Postman is that it allows you to easily test any of your favorite exchanges, APIs, make test calls to them, see the data that comes back. So it's a good kind of sandbox or playground for just kind of browsing an exchange's API and seeing the data that comes back, and to see if it's like what you're expecting. So usually I'll start here. I'll take a look at an exchange's API. They're usually very well documented on their website, or they're on their developer website. And then I'll go and plug some of the API calls into Postman and kind of get a feel for what the data is that is coming back from those APIs. And then once I have a feel for that, then I'll start writing the code around how do I actually use this data in my algorithm. And then finally, kind of a more broad view of just kind of the markets in general, but I make use quite a bit of TradingView. And this is a super cool application in that you can track tons of different assets. So not only in the crypto space, but they have connections to a lot of other exchanges worldwide. So if you want to track stocks, you can do that. The futures markets, so you got commodities here, bonds. What else do we got? We got currencies, we got interest rates, got worldwide indexes. So these are stock market indexes, and some more currencies here. So a lot of different assets that you can track here. A lot of different time frames, from daily down to intraday. All sorts of indicators available. You can create your own indicators. You can also, the other thing I really like about this that's super important if you're developing a strategy, is that it has a backtesting engine. And so you can create your rules for your trading strategy in something that they call PineScript here. And what this allows you to do is write up your rules about your trading strategy, and then it will run these rules on the historical data. And then you can see how these rules would have performed over that back test. So I really like doing this for just kind of testing out strategies, or if I have an idea, I can go in here, code something up. They also have a community, so people are contributing strategies all the time. So sometimes that's a great place to just start and look for ideas on something that you could tweak. So TradingView is another tool that I really enjoy using. So I'll include a link to all these tools that I use in the description here. And if I've missed something that you guys think is been super critical for your development in the trading strategy world, let's go back. So if I missed something that you guys think is super crucial for development of trading strategies, I'd love to hear about what you're using and why you love using it. Please drop a comment below and let me know what that is. And I will see you guys soon. Later.